Hello, welcome to tutorial 7, where we're making Minecraft, or something like Minecraft, with the Python language, and to do that we're using the Osina engine, which was created by Petter Amland. Uh, okay, so I've got a list of things that we're going to do. Basically, we're going to make our terrain look as good as possible by loading in a model. So for each individual cube, we can texture that model properly. So it's not just the same texture kind of repeated on all 6 sides, but we can have something looking a bit more professional. Let me just load up an example of this, what I mean by that. So here we go. If we look at each individual block, you can see there's like grass dripping down the sides, and then if we look at the top of the cube, it's completely covered with grass. And so that's much more satisfying to kind of look like and much more fun to kind of design. So that's what we're after. Also, we're after completing what we almost got done in the last video in tutorial 6. So again, if you want any of this code, you're not following along coding, I'll put a link in the description. Or just in case your code doesn't work and I've gone too fast or too slow over something, then you can get to the code. Right, so first thing on my list, theta reset. So in the update function, we've reset after moving a certain distance, i.e. one block, we're then saying, oh, the player's moved, therefore start generating terrain from where they currently are. And that means the radius at which we're generating terrain needs to be 0. So it starts with the one block that we're standing on and then circles around us. But at the same time, we want the angle that we're circling around to start at 0 again, so that we're not missing out a little bit of the circle. For example, maybe we've got 270 degrees around, then the player moves, and then the remaining 90 degrees would be generated at the new spot, but the first 270 in the new spot wouldn't be generated again. So we need to, in other words, just reset the angle that we're spinning around at. Incidentally, because I'm talking about this swirling system that we did in the previous tutorial, I had a go at using another algorithm that I came up with, and the other one is actually a lot faster than this, so maybe we'll look at that in the future. This one is sufficient at the moment. We spent so much time doing it last video, we'll keep this one. Good news is we're basically reusing the basic system, but it's the radius and the theta, the polar coordinates, we'd do it a different way. Anyway, that's for another time perhaps. So theta has been reset, so we're making progress. Done. Let's add done to that. So next one, oh yeah, this is the big job really. Combine the subsets into terrains, or what we could call like megasets. So, oh, do I have my diagram? Yes. It's a terrible diagram. Can I actually undo? Oh wow. Edit. If I actually press Ctrl Z, does this work? Oh, it does. Yes. Oh, this is an amazing piece of software. Brilliant. Again, jspaint.app. Well done, whoever programmed you. I must find that out. Or someone put it in the comments. That would be amazing. And if I have a prize, I could give it to you somehow. I don't know how. Right, so here we've got a diagram of our terrain generation algorithm where we're creating cube number 1 or subcube number 1, subcube number 2, 3, 4, 5, and so we're swirling around. And then each of the coloured areas is a subset that combines all the cubes into just one object, so that's a lot faster for the computer to deal with. And then when we've got 420 subsets, we'll combine all those together. I've just chosen 420 as a number that I think won't take too long for the computer to combine. The combine function is costly. It makes the computer lag, but it needs to be large enough so that lag, that little jolt, isn't happening every frame. It's happening, after 5 minutes or 3 minutes or something like that. Anyway, So this a megaset would be something like this red area that's combining all of the subsets. So that's what we're just doing, just to remind ourselves. So let's go and create a megaset list. So we'll do that next to our other variables, our new variables that we made last time. So we've got subsets, we've got subcubes. Actually, if I'm doing it in that order, from largest to smallest, I should start with megasets. This is kind of bad, isn't it? I've said mega and then small s, subset small s, and subcubes large c. I guess because they're two separate words. Anyway, I'll leave it like that. I should try to be more conventional. Right. Okay. So we've got a megaset. Do we need to go and create those now? Well, we could have an infinite number of well, we won't be able to, my computer won't handle that, but we don't know how many we're going to have. So we don't need to go and instantiate any empty megasets. We could do that as we need them. Unlike subcubes, which we're kind of dealing with every single update, or 16 every single update, a megaset is only going to be created, every minute or so, or maybe longer. So it's okay for us to generate that on the fly. We're not doing it over and over again, so it's not too costly. So we want to create and then combine all subsets into a megaset in generate terrain. Yes. So here, let's add a comment. So here we're asking if the current cube equals the amount of subcubes that we've got, we want to go and fill up that subset with subcubes. So ready to make a subset. I don't like make. Combine a subset. Build. Kind of like build or populate. I'll just say build a subset. And then notice that we're incrementing to the next subset. Now, that's a danger. We don't want to go beyond how many subsets that we've got. In fact, let's go and test that out. Sorry, I've got myself a mouse, and now it's the opposite way to my trackpad for scrolling. I know. When I'm in the code, let me track with what I'm used to. Right, so the number of subsets 420. So if we reduce that to 42, we should see the error happen. And if you've played around with this code for long enough, it will crash because we go beyond, there we go, the amount of subsets we've got. So it says index error, list index out of range. So we've tried to make 43 subsets, in other words. So we'll keep it to 42, so it's good for testing to see if our megasets get created. So, yeah, ready to build a subset. So, when we increment to another subset, we've now got to ask the following question, and ready to build a megaset. So then we want to say if current subset equals, what did I call that? Num. Oh, it'll be subset, won't it? Won't it? My accent's gone very funny. Did you hear that? I was like, won't it? Anyway, right, number of subsets. Then we want to first create a megaset. So we can get hold of our megasets list and then append, that means add an object onto that list, and we want to add a new entity, which we can create by just doing this. There we go. Now, that hasn't got a color, a model, or a texture, so actually it'll probably like render everything white when that megaset appears. So we'll be able to tell if it works, but we also have to add a texture to it at some point. If any of this works, anyway. Then what were we doing? Now we definitely need to say the current subset equals 0 again. So we will stay within the bounds of the list. Here, where we're creating a new subset, or rather building the subset out of subcubes, we then go to the next subset. And if we're on the last subset, it's time to combine. In fact, that's kind of out of sync, isn't it? But I'll just leave it as it is. And you know what? If you kind of understand what I'm just talking about, and it bothers you, then you'll probably understand enough to go and work that out yourself and correct that. And if you want to paste your code into a comment, I'll update my code with your suggestions. Anyway, or you could do it via GitHub. Send me a pull request. Right, what were we doing? So current subset is 0. So we're ready to build new subsets out of subcubes there. And do we ever disable the subsets again? We should do that. Oh, the most important thing is then we want to go and combine this new entity. So megasets. How do you get the last megaset, or the latest one, the current one? You can refer to the index -1, and that will just give you whatever item is on the very end of your list, i.e. the current one, the one that you've just created. And we then want to combine that, a very familiar function, and let's just copy and paste some code, which is good practice here so I don't accidentally put a small typo in there. So we don't want to destroy those subsets, we want to keep using them to build up the terrain, or recycle them. So we've got that done. Okay, what was I just talking about before that? Some kind of error I was thinking of. What was it? Oh yes, the parent. The combine function works by just combining any child objects into our parent entity, our parent object. But the subsets aren't parented yet. And we can't parent them before we have a megaset that's being created. So we have to do that here. That might be a little, not too costly actually, but we've created our megaset. So then we can say for S, which will stand for each subset in the subsets list, subsets, I want to make every subset a child of the megaset we just created. Again, we can get hold of that with megasets index -1. So these two lines just make sure that parent all subsets to our new megaset. There we go. And we're combining, yep, reset subsets. Okay, so this is like, yeah, generating a megaset. Lovely. Okay, so should this work? Are we referring to any variables that we need to make global? I don't think we need to make lists global. I sometimes do that, but I haven't made subsets global here, so there shouldn't be any reason for me to make the megaset global. Any need for me to do that. The moon, by the way, looks fantastic tonight. We should make a moon in here. I love that in Minecraft, where there's like a pixel moon. Oh, right. And I've got kind of distracted by the thing that I'm supposed to be doing instead of talking about the moon. But yeah, when we've created, or rather our algorithm is now generating megasets, which is kind of cool to see. So when we get 42 subsets, I'm a little alarmed it's not making a new one. So I've done something wrong. Oh no, yeah, it's made a new one. So that's what 42 subsets looks like. So 42 times 16, that's how many subcubes there are altogether. And you notice it has to, my computer has to jolt when it creates them. So we don't want them to be this small, we want them to be 10 times as large. That truly feels like a megaset. Okay, so let's go and sort that out. And sort that out is very easy. We just need to find the this variable, number of subsets. Number of subsets that will be combined into a megaset, i.e. how many combined into a megaset. We just need to put a 0 there, as easy as that. But before I do that, I still want to, we need to go and sort out the texture. So each subset, when we first instantiate them, we're setting its texture to monotext. So we want to do that with our megaset. So let's go to, I've gone back to generate the terrain, and when we create our megaset, let's set its texture to monotext. So texture equals mono. Will this fit in the window? Yes, monotext. So what should happen is that they inherit the color. Oh no, I haven't really set the color yet. Oh, that's bad as well. I glitched through the floor. And I've taken the safety net for glitching off. Oh well, the rest of the time it seems to be fine. Maybe we drop in a bit too high. Maybe we should drop from 32 or something. Right. Now the problem is, I don't know if the megaset is... Oh, yes I do. That definitely jolted, I think. Well, that was another jolt. So we are definitely creating megasets, and the texture is working this time, so that's great. What we should kind of do, let's just write a little, like a console log, print megaset number, and we'll just concatenate a little string, number. So we want to basically just count how many megasets we've made so far. So we'll just get the length of that list -1. No, just the length of the list. Yeah, the length of the list. Megasets. There we go. I was going to say created, or successfully created, but I'll just leave it to that. Oh, I know. Can I just fit in an exclamation mark? That would be lovely. There we go. So that will print in the console how many megasets, or the latest megaset that we've created, to check that that is still working. So let's go and make our terrain pretty. Is that what's on the list? Combine subsets into megasets. Done. Create our own subcube model with a texture. Rotate the subcube to vertex distribution and colors. Let's do colors first. So what do I mean by colors? I mean we're just going to map what height our cubes are, and maybe make the higher ones a lighter color and the lower ones a darker color, and then add some random tint or shade to that, so each one looks a little different. Okay, so we do that in generate our terrain. Again, I should kind of make a, where do we do that? It's here. So we kind of need to do this here, because we set the colors when we deal with each subcube. So here we're setting its X and Z, and here we're determining its height. So actually we'll just have a temporary variable called y equals the subcube's height. Very sorry if my computer is noisy. It's very hot where I am, and I can hear the fan going. Maybe that's not audible in the video. I apologise if it is. Okay, maybe let me go and I'll pause the video and go and sort out some ventilation. Hello. I've sorted out some ventilation, put on a fan, opened some windows, etc. I just opened the back door, and that means the side light has come on. So you might see my face disappear in some light occasionally. Okay, right. So we've got the height. So with this height, we can say we're going to use our map function. I'm sure we used that in an earlier video. Let's just have a look. Have I imported? Yes. So we've got our nmap function. So let's use that. That makes life easier. Now that I put a fan on though, all my papers are blowing everywhere. Oh, and the light's gone off. Lovely. Right. So I want to go back to generating the terrain. And now we can say, let's say the amount of green equals nmap. And remember, we want to take the y variable, which is the height of our terrain, and next we need to say, well, what is the range that that can have? And that will go from, well, that will depend on our Perlin noise, which is maybe 42. So let's just try, halving that. 21. So it goes from, we'll call it minus 21 to 21, and then we want to state what value we want to map to, or what range of values we want to map to. So we want to go from maybe a little bit of green, maybe 10, to 255, so really green. There we go. And then we'll just say, actually, we don't have to say red and blue. I'll just put 0 for those. So then we're going to say subcubes current cube color equals color.rgb 0. How much green we've just mapped there? 0. There we go. And actually, after that, we'll add a little amount. We'll say add random int, or rand int. So what this function does is give us a random integer or whole number in the range that we set here. So we might go down by, well, I said the lowest it can be is 10, so maybe we'll go down by 8, so it's really close to being black, up to, you know what, we'll put this to 240, and then it can add another 8 onto it to give us 48. There we go. Or maybe I'll go, well, now I've got to do arithmetic. I've got to do, no I don't have to do 255 minus 8. I can just leave it like that and let the computer do it. I think it's something like 47. Something like that. Right, okay. So let's go and have a look at our terrain now. Oh, I glitched through the terrain. Right. I'm hoping that's just because we fall from such a height, which I set right at the bottom here, 64. Let's just drop from half that, 32. That by the time we hit the terrain, it's we're moving much too fast. Let me just switch the light on. Just in case my facial expressions are helpful. Right. Okay, so we've definitely got green now. And as we go higher, we should get lighter colours. I'm not sure we have, you know. Things certainly look lighter from the top there because of the fog. Actually, now that I've got down here, that does look darker. Oh, and the megaset's just been created. Okay, they do look right. Let's do something a bit. Oh no, I just deleted the console to look at our megasets printing out. Anyway, there are fireworks now going off somewhere. It's the first Saturday of the summer holidays here in the UK, 2021. In case you're hello from the future, if you're listening in like 2035 or something like that. I don't know what the fireworks are for. Is there something obvious? I don't know. Right. What were we doing? We were making the colours more extreme. Right, here's our map function. I'm not doing anything silly like just putting in the same amount. So let's go from 0, 21. So I think if you squeeze the first two numbers, you see more dramatic difference when you map across. The moon is moving really fast. Well, that's interesting. I was going to say we can definitely see a difference. Like it's very dark down here. And then I thought the texture had been removed somehow, which was very confusing because we hadn't really changed any code in that way. But it's fine. It's just because it's so dark, the texture won't shine through. So that's what I was after. So we've got a much more dramatic piece of evidence to show that we've got variation in colour. And definitely, you can see on this row, in fact, we've got our little bit of random difference between subcubes. Perfect. Okay. I might just go maybe -8 to... I'll keep it to 21. 21. Right. And maybe we need a bit more dramatic... bit more of a dramatic random variation. There we go. Oh, that needs to be 12, doesn't it? I was getting confused. Yeah, that can be fine. Okay, so that's just the colours. So now, this is the exciting bit. We've done the colours. Now what I'm really excited to show you is creating our own model, which means you're not just stuck to using a cube. You could like add loads of detail to your cube to make it look like a next generation Minecraft or something. I'm really tempted to do that. So create our own subcube model with a texture. So let's go and do this. So to create your own model, well, because we're in the code right now, what we want to be able to do is, here where we're loading textures, we want to do something like this. We want to say, what should we call it? Cube text equals load underscore texture, and then we're going to create a file called, we call it subcube, shall we? No. I'll call it, what should we call it? Mooncube. Mooncube.png. And we want to also load a model. So we'll call it cube model equals load model and that will be called moon cube. There we go, .obj, so it's going to be an object file, an obj file. Now, these don't exist yet, so we need to go and create those. That's the point of me. I really want to show you that. But be careful, you don't want to call this something like cube.obj, because that already exists within Ursina, just as sphere does, and cylinder, I think, things like that. So if you create your own models and then rename and then name them cube or sphere or cylinder or something, it will overwrite what's going on in Ursina, and some of the properties that belong to the original cube won't match up with your model, and some things might go wrong. So give it some kind of crazy name, and then everything will be fine. Okay, so let's go and create this. So we're going to use a piece of software called Blockbench. Blockbench, there you go. Can I zoom in? Blockbench. So if you just go to blockbench.net, it's actually a web app, or you can download it. I haven't actually installed it. I've downloaded it, but I haven't installed it yet. And actually, let's just go back to, how do I go back to the home page? Oh, what did I just do there? I just want to go to Blockbench. Blockbench. Leave page. Here we are. Yeah, this is the landing site. So I've noticed actually used by Mojang Studios, maybe to create axolotls, another thing. We should make a giant axolotl, probably. Or lots of tiny, cute axolotls. That's what we should do. Anyway, what we're doing now is just creating a cube. So actually, this is a really good choice of model to make, because it's the simplest thing you can kind of do. So we're going to create it and then texture it. So we're just going to click Open Web App. And, oh, your screen might be different. It might ask you what controls you want. I would just go for maybe mouse default, something like that. And it just means you rotate the view and you pan the camera and things like that by using the right mouse or the left mouse or the mouse wheel or the third button. I'll show you that in a moment. So let's just stick with generic model at the moment. Okay, so this top thing. Now we'll call it moon cube, or whatever you're going to call yours. Remember, don't call it cube, call it something else. And our texture size, yes, wants to be 16 by 16. No. Yeah, it wants to be 16 by 16. In other words, 64. If you notice in Minecraft, there's like 16 pixels across, 16 down. So that's what we want, I believe. So let's create that. Okay, so I'm using the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. On my controls, I'm using the right mouse button to pan around, and then I use the left mouse button to rotate. Okay, you might have to use like shift and a different button and things like that, but I'm sure you can find out in the instructions if yours is slightly different. Anyway, we're going to create a cube. So to create a cube, use this button here, Add Cube. There we go, we've got our cube. And we want to make it as big as it needs to be, which is, yeah, 16 by 16. 16. Oh, can I just use this button? Yes. So let's just take that to 1, and this just needs to be 16. There we go. So this is as big as a cube in Minecraft. Good. Now, the center of our cube wants to be... Oh, I have got the center in the correct place. Oh, that's good. So if your cube isn't centered, you might have to move it to minus... Inflate cubes in all directions, changing the UV. Sorry, I've never used the inflate button before. I just assumed it just inflated all of these by 16. Maybe it doesn't. Let's not play around with things I don't understand yet. So let's just go to 1 and then we'll say 16 by 16 by 16, because we do want to inflate the UV, surely. Okay, so our position is 0, 0, 0, so that's good. So, oh no, it isn't. Our cube is definitely not positioned at 0, 0, 0. You can see that our cube is offset here. So our position needs to be minus, that's not letting me, okay. I'll just click the buttons, minus 8, and minus 8. So hopefully that makes sense. Because it's 16 across, by shifting it back by 8, we place the middle of the world into the middle of our block. So that's really important. When you're creating models, you want their center to be at the center of the world, so that when you load it into your game or your simulation, when they rotate, they're not rotating around a weird point somewhere, they're rotating around the very center of the origin. Okay, so we've finished our model. Now we want to texture it. So over the left-hand side here, we've got the place where we build a texture. So there's a button down here which is called Create Texture, so we'll select that. And the resolution we want is 16 by 16, and we want to click on Template. Now if we click on Template, it will automatically create like a net, and it will match all the UVs. The UVs are like the X and the Y. U is the X, I think, and the V is the Y, vertical. It might not stand for vertical. Which tell your program which texture or which corner of the texture belongs where on your model. So it works this all out for you, which is fantastic. So I've selected template, and I can leave everything as it is. That should be fine. And then, oh, we need to name this moon cube, or whatever you want to call your texture. I've called it the same thing as the model. So this will output the PNG, the texture, and the model that we made just now will output the object file. Brilliant. So now what you've got over here is a map where the colors correspond to the different sides of our cube. So the blue arrow is Z, so the way it's pointing will be the front of our model. So if you're designing some kind of creature or mob, you want to find the Z-axis, which is blue, and the way it's pointing for its face. That's really important. So on here, I can draw a face, for example. Right, how do you change the texture? Well, you can go to this Paint tab up here. We were in Edit before, which is where you build your different cubes and things. If I go to Paint, I can now add whatever I like on here. So, in my previous example, I made a little bit of an effort to, that's not green, that's green. I made a bit of an effort to create like a Minecraft-y kind of thing. So here we'll just create like little faces. I don't, how do I undo things? Control Z, okay. Control Z, 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 there we go. That looks kind of nice. There we go. And then it'll be nice to have something on the top. I think the top is white at the moment, so we don't want that looking white. So I think this has got like a gradient tool. Let's try a little bit of a gradient. Very nice. Right, I finished with my texture just for illustration purposes. So now all we have to do is go to File, Export, and then choose Object Model. And this will export our texture as a PNG and our object model. And I think, so that's gone to my downloads folder, I think it saves it as a a zip file. So let's open that up. So I'm in downloads, and there it is. It's called assets.zip. So I'm on a Mac, so I can just double click that and it'll unzip it, and here's my folder. So unzip or extract your zip folder, and you'll have 3 files. We just need the mooncube.png and the mooncube object. So I can copy those or cut those and then go to my folder, my asset folder. So I'll just show you where that is. So here is where my code is. I'm in tutorial 7, and remember, any assets that you're using, like models and sounds and textures, as long as they're in the same folder or in a subfolder, Asina will be able to find it. So I'm going to put it in assets and then in terrain models, so stuff that I'm using for the terrain. I've also got one prepared here that looks a bit more professional. Let's just paste those 2 items in here. So we've got our object and our PNG. You can see the little face there ready. So I just forgot, we've already done the coding. So it's called cube text and cube model. So basically, anywhere where we've used monotext, I want to use cube text and I want to use cube model. So I do that in subcubes. Which is where I'm instantiating my subcubes. So I don't want its model to be cube, I want it to be mooncube. Is that what I called it? No, it was cube model, wasn't it? And then its texture, here we go. The texture of our subsets wants to be cube text, and also our mega set has to have the correct texture, doesn't it? And remember, the colors that we worked on at the beginning of the tutorial will shine through this texture, which is going to be a problem now that I think about it. We should have made our texture kind of monochrome, and then it can be different things, different colors. Right. So I've got monotext. Here's a megaset, so that needs to be cube text, and that's it. Right. Let's have a look at that. So the interesting thing will be, what will our texture look like? Oh right, you can see our faces, so it's worked, but it's looking nasty. There's some kind of fighting going on. I must have added... Oh, maybe our subcubes don't need to have a texture. That's probably what's going on there. But our green color is still shining through, but we've got, we've got that working. Okay, so so our megaset definitely needs that texture. Let's use find monotext, just in case I left one that shouldn't be there. So that's the only reference to it. Fantastic. So I did get all the ones that I needed to. So maybe I don't need to set that in where we're instantiating our subcubes. Oh, I don't actually give it a texture. So what's going on here? Oh. What was I doing there? That's, yeah, subcubes and submodel. I was just thinking, was I giving my subset a cube model? And it is called cube model. Cube model, good. And the model was the right size? Was that the problem, maybe? Let's just open up, what did I call it? I noticed I had one ready. Block object. Let's just try this with one that I know is working. And I think I called it block texture. So I'll just open up a different file to make sure that the problem isn't with the size of the block that I created. Oh, I think that's bad news. It is something to do with the size of the block that I created. These are looking fantastic. So maybe I made it the wrong resolution or something. Moon, cube, and moon. Oh. Yeah, that is not. They're fighting for position. Oh, that's a real shame. What have I done wrong? They are just overlapping. Maybe it was something to do with all that inflation. Right, let me pause the video and see if I can diagnose what's going on. Okay, I'm not sure if I found the problem, but let's recreate our cube. Maybe it was the inflation nonsense that was going wrong. So, to make a new model, you can go to Start, the Start tab here, and I'll just go to Generic Model, and my file name is going to be mooncube. Texture size I'll keep as 1616. Okay. Create my cube. Size wants to be 8 by 8 by 8. There we go. And then position wants to be -8. Oh no, I made this the size the wrong size. 16, 16, 16, and then -8, -8, and -8 on our X, Y, and Z axis. So that the center of our cube is where we expect it. Let's just import a texture. So I want to go to my folder. Where are we? Python. Asina dev. Tutorials. Minecraft. And then in my assets, terrain models, and there's my moon cube. Oh. Why didn't that work? That's really disappointing. Oh, I didn't really need to do that, did I? Did I? Because I could just export this, but I don't know if it's got the right UVs on, actually. Oh, let's... How did it not know it's a texture? Choose that. Oh, there we go. It's worked the second time. Okay. but it's not. Oh, now we have to apply it to our model. Apply it to our model. There we go. Oh, and I've somehow just dragged it onto. Oh, this is going terribly. Terribly. Auto UV. This is an absolute disaster. I don't know what I'm doing. Maximize UV. No, 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 no. Right, let's just. Can I reset? No. Can I undo everything? Undo. Undo. Oh, yeah. Undo. Undo. Basically, I just need to delete this. Delete. But have I now just upset some other settings? Probably. So anyway, let's create a texture again. Template. Confirm. Okay, so now we need to let's go to the paint section. Let's go and get some nice green. And yeah, this is our face. Put some. Oh no. Want to go maybe black. I don't know what color would actually show through best. So we've got a very creepy face on there. And then, oh yeah, we wanted a gradient at the top at least. Let's just choose some. I guess green would work, wouldn't it? Okay, right. We've got our texture. Let's just save the individual texture. No, we want to export everything. So export. There we go. And so there's our new zip file. I've got moon cube and I've got my texture, which I'm going to rename now to moon cube PNG. Select those two, copy them, and we'll just overwrite what we had in here, which is a pity because moon cube looks a lot better there. But actually, we don't have to. We just have to. I can leave that one, can't I? We just need the object, because this is the file that has the information about the UVs and such. So let's paste that in there. Because this is just a PNG file, that's fine. Okay. So now's the moment of truth. So we're loading MoonCube again. Oh. Oh god. Oh god, it's worked. It's worked. Fantastic. There's some. Okay. Okay. I'm kind of glad that happened, because if it's happened to me, it'll probably happen to someone at some point. So, if your textures don't quite look right, it's because you've messed up the UV application of the texture at some point. For example, messing around with the inflation button, which is what I did. Even though I took it back to 0 and then reset the size of my cube, it had adjusted the UVs, I think. Something like that. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to rotate our textures, because we might not want them all facing the right way. And imagine, actually, we don't have to imagine, let's just use my block texture. Now, one good thing is that we look like we've got variety because we've added some randomness to the tone or the shade of our texture, and also as we go higher they get lighter. In fact, it's quite nice. Let's go to the top of the mountain. But every cube you look at has exactly the same pattern of pixels. So if you're going for this pixelated aesthetic, you might like that. Or to me, I don't kind of like the repetition. It's too repetitious. So what we can do is when we first instantiate our subcubes, what we can do is rotate our subcube. So we're going to say it's rotation on the y-axis, so that's like a pole going through the cube. So if we rotate it around the y-axis, we're just rotating it around. Again, we can just say random.randint. We'll go from well, anywhere. Oh no, we only want it to be 90 degrees, 180 or 270 or 0. So we want to say oh yeah, we can just go up to 4. That'll give us 1, 2, 3, 4 times 90. That'll work, won't it? Is that a way to do it? Let's have a look. Missing one positional argument. Okay, so between 1 and 4. Or 2 and 3, would that be? Okay, so now if we look at our textures, yeah, you see that dark, I'll put it in the center of the screen, the dark pixel that's on the right hand side of the texture. It appears on a few of the terrain cubes, the subcubes, but not all of them. That's because some of them are turned round. And if we look from the top, we'll see that the pixels are like in different positions for some of the cubes. So that just gives us some variety. So some of the textures you'll see that dark pixel, some of them you won't. So that's just a way to add just a little bit of variety to give the illusion that we've got a lot of difference. Okay, let's go back to our list and see how we're doing. And we're just about to hit an hour, so it would be nice to finish around an hour. So rotate the subcube for better texture distribution. That's done. Create our own yeah, we created our own model. Right, we've got just over a minute. Let's go make an axolotl. Okay, so I'm going to go to Start, go to Minecraft Skin at the bottom here, because then you can select what model you want to work on. And axolotl has been added, and let's just go. There we go. We've got an axolotl. Let's go to Edit, and so the whole root. Can we just make this massive? Does that make the whole thing massive? No. Whoops. Body. Oh, obviously we don't make it big here. What am I thinking? We just change the scale when we load in the model. Anyway, we do want to change its kind of color. So let's just go to Paint, and we'll make it pink, I guess. And then we'll use the Paint Bucket tool. Obviously, when you're making your own textures, you don't want to really do it in here. You want to save the PNG and then open it up in GIMP or paint.net or something, your favorite editor. Right, so I've got fill mode face, so every face I kind of select. will be affected. Obviously, I'm going to miss something. I want to leave the little blue face. That's kind of nice. Or shall I? No. It needs eyes, though. Where were its eyes? Were its eyes on the top or the bottom? Oh, they're in the middle. So I'll use a paintbrush and then the white eyes there and there. Does that make him look cute? No. What if I do a little mouth there? Yeah, that looks kind of nice. Right. Oh. Green bum. Okay, that looks kind of cool. He's got a little green bum. Okay, so we file, export that. Again, we'll just do it as an object model. I'll go to my downloads folder. We've got assets 3. We go to axolotl object and the PNG. Copy those 2 items. Go to my terrain mode. Right, I want to go to my assets, and I'll put them in a new folder called mobs. So again, I'm in a subfolder where my main Python file is. I'll paste those 2 in, and they're ready to go. Axolotl. I'm going to struggle spelling that. Okay. So let's do that. So we'll call it axo texture equals load. Why aren't I just copying this, pasting it? Axolotl.png. Axo model. Oh. There we go. Right, we created Vincent right down the bottom, so I guess we should, let's just copy everything from Vincent. Oh, what do we call our new friend here? There we go. I think it's just called Baby. And its model is going to be axo model. Scale is probably going to be 10. And we don't want it next to Vincent. We'll say -22. Its texture wants to be axo text. And double-sided true, yeah, just so that all the textures on him display correctly. Right. We've gone over an hour, but we're doing important things. We're creating a giant axolotl. And there he is. He's absolutely fantastic. There he is. Right. Let's go and get near to him. Oh, yes. That might be the thumbnail. Something like that, yeah. Oh no. There we go. I've done the thumbnail. Actually, we need me smiling. That'll be better. Right, okay. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. Again, any questions, put them in the comments and I'll try and help you out. Lovely. See you next time.